What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video, we're going to be using the #1 player in the world's team. So shout out to Paula from Twitter. She hit World Rank 1 with Tapu Fini, Galarian Stunfisk, and she used a Shadow Gliscor. I don't have Shadow Gliscor, so I got to use my normal one. But rank 1 on the leaderboards and Team Instinct as well. Now, you guys may also be saying, well, Yonkis just used this team too. Of course he did. We both saw this tweet and we thought, my goodness, we have to give it a try. So shout out to Yonkis as well for running this team. I'm sure he did a fantastic job with it. Be sure to go check out his channel down in the description. All right, let's see what this team is made of. Getting in the first battle, we have Tapu Fini on the lead versus Defense Form Deoxys. So not the best of leads in terms of the charge moves coming from Defense Form Deoxys. So what I'm going to look to do is try to catch the Thunderbolt if I can on a safe swap into Galarian Stunfisk. So we do get the Thunderbolt. Granted, I think they just threw it anyways, but they now bring in an Obstagoon. And my thought is, I've seen this team, maybe you guys have before, a couple seasons back. It's a triple counter team with none of the Pokemon being fighters. At least that's what I'm thinking, right? Defense Form Deoxys, Obstagoon, and Vigoroth being the final one. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Earthquake here. We do get a shield from them. And what's great is Tapu Fini with Moonblast can also do very well against the Obstagoon. So we're going to go ahead and let this charge move go through. It is just going to be another Night Slash. Now I'm just praying for no boost on Obstagoon. Their win con is getting a boost, and then I would start to be in trouble. But we're going to come back in with Tapu Fini and look to go for the Moonblast right here because of that dark typing. This is going to one-shot if they let it go through. And they decided to double shield. And I'm like, okay, well, we have a Gliscor. That's going to do well. We're going to go ahead and swap that in now to Defense Form Deoxys. We're going to look to go for the Night Slash right away. I know this is not going to KO, but I'm fishing for that boost, and then I'll farm down. And we get the boost. Let's go. We're going to go ahead and shield here on the Gliscor. And I said at the very beginning of the season, Gliscor is one of the deadliest Pokemon for this meta with the Wing Attack update because it can core break so many teams. It has the moveset to do incredibly well. So we do see the Obstagoon decide to come back in. And you know what? I'm like, I'll go ahead and shield the Gliscor. I am boosted. And they get to another one here because I got greedy and over-farmed. So this now is going to be very, very dangerous. The Night Slash does land. I'm actually going to swap out into Tapu Fini. In comes the Vigoroth, and we can go ahead and get to another Moonblast. This Moonblast from Tapu Fini does so much damage. Look at that against the Vigoroth. Beautiful. That means we will be able to... I'm going to have to go for a Night Slash against Vigoroth here. I don't think I'll be able to survive if they can get... Yeah, they might be able to get to a Body Slam, so I got to throw the Night Slash right away. And then I should be able to win the race to Earthquake here against the Obstagoon. So let's see if we can do it. Yeah, we do get to it in time, so that's going to be a good game. Very well played. This team was so much fun to use, and if you guys don't have Tapu Fini, because the only way to get it is from trading with someone, and it goes below 1,500, is try a Azumarill on the team. All right, so we got a Bastiodon on the lead. Now, Bastiodon teams on the lead typically have either like double grass in the back, right? So Shadow Victory Bell and something else, or they have Medicham and Sableye. That's been the most common teams I've run. So we're going to go off of that mindset that is what's on the lead. So my first thought is, okay, they're staying in, so maybe it's going to be a Medicham Sableye backline. So I'm going to go ahead and shield right here, and they swap into Shadow Victory Bell. So I bring in Galarian Stunfisk. Now, you may be thinking, why not bring in the Gliscor? Well, Gliscor is going to be pretty glassy, but secondly, I'm thinking there's going to be double grass in the back. And what did we say earlier? Gliscor is a beautiful core breaker. So if I can come in and farm down the Shadow Victory Bell, we also no-shield the Leaf Tornado as well, which allows us to get to another Rock Slide, which is beautiful. If I can come in and farm down with Gliscor, and they have another grass Pokemon in the back, we're going to have a lot of energy, and we core break the Bastiodon as well. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to come in and hard farm down. We didn't take too much damage right there. And let's see what decides to come in. It's going to be the Bastiodon. Okay, so what we're going to look to do here is load up as much. We're going to go for the Earthquake, and then they're probably going to be shielding, right, because they're weak in the back. And we're going to look to load up as much energy as possible and then swap into the Tapu Fini right here. But they shielded right away, so I actually decided to swap because I remembered how much energy I had. I did these battles really early this morning, so it's like I'm recording in the afternoon. So we do land the Surf right here. Now, I don't know if they disconnect or we just have some lag, but we take out the Bastion. We have a shield left. And let's see what the final Pokemon is going to be. It's actually going to be Medicham, so this is perfect. Moonblast right here KOs everyone. This is a beautiful chunk of damage against the Medicham here with Tapu Fini. Boom! One-shots it, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. Alright, moving to the next one. We have Tapu Fini on the lead versus Shadow abomasnow. Okay, Core Breaker alert. abomasnow destroys this team, and the only way I could think of when I saw the abomasnow, because I can't swap out, I can't go into Galarian Stunfisk because Gliscor and Tapu Fini are just going to get destroyed. I can't go into Gliscor because I'm just going to get farmed. So the only way is to no shield and hope they don't go for Energy Ball and then go for the Hail Mary Moonblast. Boom! One-shots it. That's the only win condition. Now, we see a Sableye come in. So this now tells me there's probably going to be a Medicham in the back as well. abomasnow, Medicham, and Sableye being a very strong team in the meta. We survive the foul play, and we don't get the Surf. My game, like, freezes there. I have the Surf. I'm clicking, and it just goes, no, I'm done. So, unfortunately, we don't get it. Now, I'm reading Medicham in the back based on the team composition so far. So we're going to bring Galarian Stunfisk into the Sableye because our Gliscor is going to line up to Medicham. So we let the foul play go through. We're going to look to go for Earthquake. They swap in Medicham. This is perfectly fine as well because the Earthquake will do a lot of neutral damage and it lands. So we're going to go ahead and swap out now into Gliscor. And this is going to be a good game. We're going to go ahead and go for the Night Slash. I might have been able to get away. This isn't going to be enough damage. I might have been able to get away with potentially farming down. But I get an attack boost anyways. Gliscor popping off today for me. So we're obviously going to shield the Ice Punch here. And then we're going to farm a down with Wing Attack. And that's going to be a good game. They really don't have a lot of outs now as Sableye has to take out both Gliscor, which is boosted, and the Galarian Stunfisk in the back. And we still have even shield, so they decide to no shield. And that is going to be a good game. I'll go ahead and shield and take it right there. Now, if we go back to the beginning with abomasnow and they just shield, right, and throw Energy Ball, we lose that game. Like, flat out. It's bad. It's bad. If you want to counter this team, use that team. All right, we got Medicham on the lead right here. Pretty positive matchup for us, and they're deciding to stay in. So what I'm reading here, if Medicham's staying in to a Tapu Fini, there might be some steals or Galarian Stunfisk, something in the back that Tapu Fini can do well against. But instead, an Alolan Ninetales comes in. I'm like, this is very, very interesting. I was not expecting that. Obviously, I'm not going to bring in Gliscor here. I'm going to look to go for the Moonblast, and then I'm going to try to swap into Galarian Stunfisk to catch the Dazzling Gleam. Because what I can do now is, first of all, we heavily resisted, and we caught it. That's a beautiful catch right there. We can farm down, and we should be able to get to the Earthquake here against Medicham, which would potentially force a shield. Now, I don't know what their final Pokemon is, but they were very hesitant about getting out of the matchup against Tapu Fini, which means maybe it's a Fire in the back, maybe it's Galarian Stunfisk. Either way, I think Gliscor might have some play. So we do get that shield that I was talking about earlier, and now I'm hoping I can get to another one in time. Like, no, I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Rock Slide. Let's get that chip damage down, and then in this situation, you do not want to come in with Gliscor. For everyone playing right here, Ice Punch is what you have to look out for. So you have to come in with Tapu Fini, and you're going to have to no-shield the Psychic right here. So I decided to let it go, and it does land. Decent amount of damage, and they swap in a Grand Ball, probably a Shadow Grand Ball. So I go for the Surf, which is perfect, and they no-shield it. That is exactly what I needed right here, because now my Gliscor can farm down. So it was Medicham double Fairy in the back, one being Alolan Ninetales with Powder Snow, the other being Shadow Grand Ball. And we can now safely go for the double Night Slash here to close this game out. No boost right there, no boost. I know you guys were expecting it. Maybe on this next one. But this should get the final shield from our opponent. And no boost. So we're just going to be able to farm down and safely shield, and that's going to be a good game, very well played. Now, based on what they did on the lead, I was thinking it was a different backline, right? I was thinking maybe Galarian Stunfisk back there, maybe Charizard back there, something. All right, we got Pelipper here on the lead. So what we're going to do against Pelipper leads is we're going to go straight for Moonblast and let the Hurricane hit us if it does, because we can survive. Barely. You can barely survive this Charge Moon unless your IVs... I mean, this might be IV dependent right here, but look at how close that is. We get to the Moon... Yeah, it's probably going to be IV dependent. We get to the Moonblast. So this is going to do enough damage to force that shield. And then we're going to go ahead and swap out into Galarian Stunfisk. Now, Pelipper on the lead, I've noticed the teams that roll with it is always been Galarian Stunfisk and Registeel in the back, which makes sense why they're really not swapping out. So we did CMP tie the Rock Slide as well, which is perfect because this is going to force shield number 2 from them. And they decided to let it go actually instead. So now I'm going to be able to farm down. Now, I am ahead on energy, so I'm going to go ahead and shield, because if it is in fact Registeel and Galarian Stunfisk in the back, there's the Galarian Stunfisk, I can get to the Earthquake in time. Remember, I still have Tapu Fini for to catch a charge move, and I still have my Gliscor with Earthquake. So they decided to shield the Earthquake, which is fine by me. I'm hoping Switch Clock comes up so I can catch it on Tapu Fini, but unfortunately it wasn't ready yet. So I'm going to have to let this go. And it was the Earthquake, which is fine. I'm going to come in with Gliscor now and start loading up on energy. I'm reading a Registeel in the back. That's what I'm reading. Hard reading Registeel right here based on the team comps I've faced. And they decided to throw on 5, so I'm going to go ahead and catch this next one on 5. Because battlers are creatures of habit. So am I. If they throw on 5, they're going to throw on 5 again. And we caught the Rock Slide, which is beautiful. So now we're going to come in with Gliscor. They tried to swap into Pelipper, so we anticipated that. And now they are sitting ducks for my Gliscor right here. So let's see what decides to come in. It's going to be Galarian Stunfisk. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Earthquake. Just get this thing out of there. We're booming today, battlers. Boom! One shot's Galarian Stunfisk. We're going to load up on energy, and in comes Registeel. Now, I make a slight mistake. We win this either way. It doesn't matter. We win this game. I decided to go for Night Slash first to try to proc the boost. It has to be a Night Slash and an Earthquake, but I thought I did that because I thought I could get to the Earthquake in time. In hindsight, right, in this situation, throw that Earthquake first because now my attack dropped. This Earthquake is not going to KO. Granted, we still win because we'll be able to get to another Night Slash, but in hindsight, throw that Earthquake first and then just get the Night Slash for chip damage because they'll be so low. So that is going to be a good game. Very well played. All right. Moving into the next battle. This team was so much fun to use. But again, abomasnow shreds it apart. All right, we got Sableye on the lead. Very, very positive for us, and they are looking to stay in. So this tells me maybe they are weak in the back. So I'm going to go ahead and look to build up to Moonblast. I'm also going to respect the return. I'm going to respect it, and it is a return. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and build up to Moonblast, and I'm actually now just going to go for Surfs right here. Water Gun and Surf does so much neutral damage against Sableye that we're actually in a very good position. We get a shield. We're going to go ahead and go for another one. And look at how low the Sableye already is. If we get 2 shields here, this is going to be insane. And we do get 2 shields. Perfect. So now I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're weak in the back to Tapu Fini. I don't know what. Maybe it's a Charge. Maybe it's a Fire Pokemon. Right, Sableye in the lead, weak to Charm. Maybe it's a Charizard back there. We're going to keep that thing alive. We're going to come in with Galarian Stunfisk. And I see him I should have just thrown the Rock Slide right away. So unfortunately, this was a slight error by me. But we're going to have to tank that foul play and go for the Rock Slide right here. Unless if there's more Dark-type Pokemon in the back, that would be beautiful as well. So let's see what decides to come in. It's going to be an Umbreon. Okay, so they had Sableye and Umbreon, and I'm like, there is no way they don't have something that can counter Charm. So it's going to be something like that in the back, and my hope was, I kept thinking, oh, there's going to be a Charizard in the back. Tapu Fini's going to shred this thing apart. It is going to be beautiful. Now, I decided to let this go through. Obviously, we don't want to give up our final shield. We have Tapu Fini. We have Gliscor, and I'm like, I keep thinking Charizard right here. I'm like, it's Charizard. It's going to be Charizard. So I got to come in with Gliscor. I got to keep Tapu Fini alive. Last resorts will still hurt. And I'm okay with tanking a few foul plays right here. I think 2 I would be fine with. Just keep myself alive. Mind you, my whole mind, right? I've said this whole battle. I'm reading like Charizard in the back. Oh, that's what I'm reading. And let's see. They don't swap out. So I'm like, okay, I'll go for the Earthquake now. And let's see what that final Pokemon is going to be. Please don't be Walrein. And it's a lantern. I'm like, Gliscor, you gotta pull this off, buddy. We got a shield right here. And this, again, is why Gliscor can be so deadly in this meta. Lantern are very common, and Gliscor just shreds it apart. This is absolutely beautiful. Oh, boom! One-shots, nearly one-shots. We swap into Tapu Fini and farm down. So, I pray for that battler, because if that Shadow Granbull finds that team, it's all over. But we have Tapu Fini now versus another Pelipper. So again, I'm still reading. It's been so good. Anytime this whole season, anytime I see a Pelipper, there is a Registeel and a Galarian Stunfisk, or two tanks in some format. Bastion, Lickitung, something like that. Now, we let the Hurricane go through, just like before. We go for Moonblast, but they swap into Lickitung, which is a good swap on them to catch this charge move. And now we're going to go ahead and swap into our Stunfisk, and the attack dropped as well. That is huge for the Lickitung matchup. If you guys remember back when Cresselia first came out and had the Moonblast, when you were in the mirror fight in the Ultra League, that Moonblast debuff was everything. If you got the Moonblast debuff on your opponent, it was like an automatic checkmate. There was no way to come back from that. So we can easily just soak all these charge moves, fully farm down. We have Tapu Fini alive for a sack swap, but we still have a Pelipper to deal with in even shields, but we are ahead on energy. So let's see what decides to come in. It's going to be Diggersby. Okay, so this is going to be very tough. Diggersby has access to Fire Punch, so what I need to try to do is catch that Fire Punch right here. So I'm going to go ahead and load up. I'm counting, I swap. No, maybe I counted a bit fast, but I feel they were probably just building up a ton of energy. So this is going to be a very tough situation because there is still the Pelipper in the back. Now, in order to win this game, I cannot shield Fire Punches on Gliscor. We have to let all these go through. If I got Hyper Beamed right there, so be it. But these Fire Punches, we gotta let go. We cannot shield a single one because Weather Ball is going to destroy us, as there is a Pelipper with 2 shields still lurking in the back. And I'm okay to keep going for Night Slashes right here. What I don't want to happen is if the Pelipper swaps and catches an Earthquake. So we're going to go for the Night Slash. We're going to fish for the boost. Get the boost. Let's go. Sorry for the clap. We get the boost. Come on. We let the Fire Punch go through again, and we see them swap now into Pelipper, so we're going to go ahead and go for Night Slash. Now, I can't stay in with Gliscor. I have to go into Galarian Stunfisk. We are ahead on energy, so we're going to go ahead and start shielding these Weather Balls. And we should be able to get the back-to-back Rock Slide right here because we saved a bit of energy versus the Diggersby that we saw come in. So we're going to go ahead and throw that first one. It should get the final shield, and then we should be able to get to the second one in time, just ahead before they can get to another Weather Ball. I think there may be one attack away. So we land it, but I didn't KO, and they didn't realize that. So now we can go for the Earthquake right here. So that would have been an interesting... Granted, I would have just come in with Gliscor had they got the Weather Ball, farmed down Night Slash Diggersby. But in hindsight, they thought that was going to KO, so they let it go. But they could have technically Weather Balled me right there. And that was a really, really fun team to use. So shout out to Paula. I'm going to put a link to her Twitter down in the description for this team. And huge congrats on rank 1 in the world. 3,481 rating with this team. It was amazing. If you guys don't have Tapu Fini, use a Zoomer. So like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.